بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
والنجم إذا هوى ما ضل صاحبكم وما غوى.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، باب حق الجار. عن المقداد بن الأسود رضي الله عنه قال: سأل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أصحابه عن الزنا قالوا حرام حرمه الله ورسوله. The chapter is about the rights of neighbors. And the hadith that Imam Bukhari rahimahullah has narrated on the authority of Sayyidina al-Miqdad ibn al-Aswad radiyallahu anhu, who says Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam once asked Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'een about fornication. Then what do you think about it? They said, haram, harramahu Allah wa rasuluh. It's haram, ya Rasulullah, that Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam have made it unlawful, made it haram. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لأن يزني الرجل بعشر نسوة أيسر عليه من أن يزني بامرأة جاره. For a person to commit fornication with 10 women is lesser of a sin than committing fornication with the wife of his neighbor. وَسَأَلَهُمْ عَنِ السَّرِقَةِ. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asked them about stealing. They said, حَرَامٌ حَرَّمَهَا اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ وَرَسُولُهُ. It is haram, unlawful. Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made it haram. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, لأن يسرق من عشرة أهل أبيات أيسر عليه من أن يسرق من بيت جاره. Stealing from 10 homes is lesser of a sin than stealing from the house of a neighbor. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, through this beautiful teaching, is making sure that we have safe neighborhood, that everyone in the neighborhood is secure, is safe from all the harms that could be coming from the side of vandalism, stealing, doing anything wrong that will hurt the neighbors. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is making sure that all of our neighbors are safe from us, and no one in the neighborhood will dare to hurt any other person in that same neighborhood, knowing that, of course, stealing is haram. All the other major sins that we know about them, they are haram. They are haram in all cases. But especially when it comes to doing these type of haram and committing these type of sins, where our neighbors are a target, and we are targeting homes from the neighborhood or people from the neighborhood, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says this is 10 times worse than any other person doing it somewhere else. And through this, these are only examples. He's telling us how important it is to make sure that at least the people in our neighborhood are safe from our evils. And they don't see anything from us where there is a mistrust, where they would say that, there are certain people in the neighborhood because of whom I have to watch my property. Because of these people in the neighborhood, my house, my property is not secure. Or because of these people, we are not safe. I cannot trust them with my children playing outside. Just like zina. I can't trust this person being in the neighborhood. There are people that take advantage of being in the neighborhood and having the homes of the neighborhood where they can peek out of their windows to other people's homes, to other people's yards, to other people's privacy. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is making sure that he closes all of those doors on people misbehaving, mistrusting their neighbors and being in a position where the neighbor doesn't know who may be peeking at me. Yes, there are so many homes around. I don't know who will be peeking, who will be looking. So this is all khiyana. This is cheating people. This is getting into people's ways. Although physically you are not there. Just imagine someone opens your door and just walks into the house. What everyone would think about this type of person who just walks into people's homes? He would open the door and he will go in. Looking into people's homes or trying to listen to conversation going on inside a closed door is same thing as being inside the house. There is no difference. There is one person that would walk into someone's house. There is another person who would try to peek into someone's house. They both are committing the same type of sin. Maybe the second one could be worse than the first one. The first one, at least people would be careful. The second one, people are not careful about it. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is making sure that no one would do anything like this, where he would attack his neighbors, where neighbors are not secure, are not feeling safe from this person. Or even if they don't know, we're talking about deen, sharia of Allah, the rules of Allah, which means, just imagine if there is a rule of a country, and you break the rule of the country, all the people don't know you did it. But it's against the rule of the country. And if there was a security camera that recorded you breaking that rule, whether that person knew that if you did it or not, it's a crime against the law of a country. Same thing, remember. Everything is being recorded. And no one is watching us. People in the neighborhood or neighbors won't know what we are doing. But it's against the law of Allah. And this is what Rasulullah is telling us. In a person caught committing this crime, the punishment could be much more than anyone else committing it 10 times somewhere else. So this is the type of crime this will be. So we have to be extremely, extremely careful about how we treat our neighbors. And God forbid anyone having any bad habit, make sure it's not in the neighborhood. And inshallah, if a person will stop doing it in the neighborhood, then doing it somewhere else will be more difficult, and that may be a good way to stop him from doing it totally. In the neighborhood is the easiest because you know when neighbors are home, when they're not home. And you know when they are watching, when they're not watching, when they're resting, when they're awake. So you know more about your neighbors than you would know about others. So it's easier to commit these crimes against the neighbors. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is just closing the door on a person that knows nothing in the neighborhood. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu anhu, he asked someone to slaughter a goat for him. When the goat was slaughtered, Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu anhu kept on asking his slave that was doing the work, أَهْدَيْتَ لِجَارِنَا الْيَهُودِي أَهْدَيْتَ لِجَارِنَا الْيَهُودِي. We have a Jewish neighbor. Did you give him something from the goat? Did you send some meat to him also? And the narrator says he kept on asking over and over. So some people said, take it easy. And then, he's a Jewish neighbor, so it doesn't have so much haq on you. Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu anhu said, no, سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول, I heard the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم saying, ما زال جبريل يوصيني بالجار حتى ظننت أنه سيورثه. That Jibreel alayhi salatu wassalam kept on recommending the rights of neighbors so much and emphasizing on it so much that I thought that at the end he's going to say that he would inherit. So Sayyidina Amr ibn al-As Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu anhu is using this as a proof that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam mentioned this as a general rule for all neighbors. And on the basis of this, scholars have said, although it is also mentioned as a narration, as a hadith, but the narration, the chain is very weak, but scholars have mentioned this in the light of a hadith, that it is a true message, even if that wording itself have weakness to it, but the narration and the message is strong, and it's something that is proven from other hadith, and that is there are three types of neighbors. A neighbor that has three rights on you. That's a neighbor who is a Muslim neighbor, and he is a relative. He has three rights on you. As a neighbor, as a Muslim, Haqqul Muslim ala al-Muslim, that inshallah we'll talk about it later as that chapter would come, and the rights of relatives, as we talked about the hadith earlier. So he has a right on you as a relative, as a neighbor, and as a Muslim. And there is a neighbor who is not relative, but this person is a neighbor and is Muslim. So he has a right as a neighbor and as a Muslim. Or you take the other quality, that is a neighbor who is not Muslim, but he may be relative. Still he has two rights. A neighbor who is not relative, who is not Muslim, still has a right as a neighbor. So the right of neighbor is always there, whether he is related to you or not, or he is Muslim or not. The right of neighbors are there. So these hadiths that we're talking about, they all talk about rights of neighbors in general, regardless whether that person is related to you or not, or if that person is Muslim or not. Aisha radiyallahu anha asked Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ya Rasulullah, inna li jarayn, fa ila ayyihima uhdi. I have two neighbors. To whom should I give my gifts? Which means if I have something, say some food, something extra that I can give to only one of the neighbors. I can't give it to all the neighbors. فَإِلَىٰ أَيِّهِمَا أُهْدِي. To whom should I give that gift as a neighbor? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِلَىٰ أَقْرَبِهِمَا مِنْ كِبَابًا. To the one whose door is nearest to you. See? Making it general. The one whose door is closer to your door is the first person that you would start giving the gifts. In fact, Sayyidina Al-Hasan Al-Basri rahimahullah was asked, Anil Jar, that what does neighbor mean? How far do I have to go as a neighbor? If there is more to give, how far should I go? And who are considered my neighbors? So Hasan al-Basri rahimahullah said, 40 دارا أمامه و40 دارا خلفه و40 عن يمينه و40 عن يساره. 40 houses from each direction. From each direction, 40 homes is your neighbors. 40 homes towards the front, 40 towards the back, 40 towards the right, 40 towards the left. What does this mean? When we are talking about our neighbors need to be safe from all of our evils, not hurting them in any way. Okay, I heard the hadith about don't hurt your neighbor. So okay, this person is my neighbor. I'm gonna go and throw my trash to the next street. Hasan al-Basri rahimahullah says up to 40 homes is your neighbor. So up to that point, remember, the sin would be according to the sin of hurting your neighbor. Up to that point, whatever good you would do to those people within those boundaries of 40 homes, and 40 homes is not a small area, it's a huge area. And then take it from your home, you go to 40 homes. That is your neighborhood. It's considered to be your neighborhood. And your next door neighbor, he goes one home further. So 20 homes from your home, that person's neighbor extends to 20 homes further than where your neighborhood ends. And this is how all neighborhoods are connected with each other. See how people are connected now. And how your neighbor will take care of some homes in addition to where your neighborhood will stop. If you want to invite the neighborhood, you will go up to 40 homes. So now, a neighbor that's 20 homes away from you, when he wants to invite his neighborhood, he is going to invite you in addition to 20 more homes that are outside of your parameters. So this is how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is connecting in all of us together. And Al-Hasan al-Basri rahimahullah here is saying that this is where your neighborhood will expand up to 40 homes on each side. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, once he was talking about the rights of neighbors, and he mentioned this very important point that Imam Bukhari rahimahullah quotes here, and that is, لا يبدأ بجاره الأقصى قبل الأدنى ولكن يبدأ بالأدنى قبل الأقصى. When you want to share things and give gifts, invite people, don't start with distant neighbors, start with closer neighbors. Start with closer neighbors first and then move on to the distant neighbors. And this is what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to Aisha radiallahu anha, إِلَىٰ أَقْرَبِ مَا مِنْكِ بَابًا, the one whose door is closest to you. And this is to develop a strong love between the neighbors. That is not, I don't like this one because I hear them making noise all the time, because they're next door to you. And the ones that are 5 homes away from you, they're okay because you don't hear them. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, start here. Start with the one that is closer to you. As a neighbor, he is the closest to you. So he has more haqq and more right on you. So, and Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu is telling us, don't skip people in the neighborhood from your neighbors and go further down to help other people. Start helping your own immediate neighbors. Because when these people will find out, you're always going there, talking to those people, giving those people gifts, sending food over there, and you're not talking to these people, so that will create more distance. And what a beautiful way of bridging the gap, in making sure that the closer ones are the ones that we will take care of the most. Because those are the ones that we have to deal with the most. And in fact, if there are people that we don't like, most probably will be our immediate neighbors. Because those are the ones that we will see them doing things that we may not like. The ones that are distant, we don't see them, we don't hear them too much. So still, therefore, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is advising us that we take care of the closer ones first. In fact, we have an amazing narration here. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Umar ibn As radiyallahu, Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu says, لَقَدْ أَتَى عَلَيْنَا زَمَانٌ. There was a time. وَمَا أَحَدٌ أَحَقُّ بِدِينَارِهِ وَدِرْهَمِهِ مِنْ أَخِيهِ الْمُسْلِمِ. That no one was considered to be more entitled to a person's money than his Muslim brother. ثم الآن الدينار والدرهم أحب إلى أحدنا من أخيه المسلم. And now he says we see ourselves in a time. This is just moving on from the time of the Sahaba to the time of Tabi'een. He says, I see that people love their money more than they love their Muslim brothers. SubhanAllah, he's talking about Sahaba. They loved each other more than they loved their wealth and more than they loved their money. What type of community that must have been. What type of society that must have been. That everyone knew that my Muslim brothers have more right on my wealth than anyone else than myself. ما أحد أحق بديناره ودرهمه من أخيه المسلم. No one has right on his dinar and dirham, on his money, on his dollar and his pennies than his Muslim brothers. SubhanAllah, just reading it gives you a different feeling of a life. Whereas today, my money and my money. And everyone is just fighting for his money. Then Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu anhu said, سمعت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول, and listen to this beautiful portion of the hadith. He said, I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saying, كم من جار متعلق بجاره يوم القيامة يقول يا رب هذا أغلق بابه دوني فمنع معروفا. He said, on the day of Qiyamah, there will be many neighbors holding on to their neighbors before Allah and complaining to Rabbul Alameen, saying, Ya Allah, he closed his doors on me. هذا أغلق بابه دوني. Ya Allah, he was my neighbor and he closed his doors on me. فمنع معروفا. And he refused to show me the common kindness. I didn't see any kindness from him. I didn't see any good from him. I suffered. I went through hardships. I went through difficulties. His doors were closed on me. I couldn't go to him. I knew he wouldn't help. And he never opened his door for me. So it's not about they have to knock at the door. They have to know the door is open. They have to know our door is open for them. What does that mean when we say, my door is always open for you? Simply means, anytime you want anything, please call me. Come talk to me, let me know. In fact, we find in the narrations, Sahaba and Tabi'een, and at that time, the Sulaha and the pious people used to consider something this to be a sign of meanness, that a person is very mean if his close friends have to come and talk to him about his problems. He should take care of them before they would have to come and talk to him. He should know it and he should take care of them before they have to come and talk to him about their situation. And if he is putting them in a situation where they have to come and talk to him about it, this person is very mean. Nowadays, subhanAllah, has gone so far that when a person would come and talk to us, we consider him a burden on us. Why is he talking to me? Someone says, I want to come and talk to you. What is it about? I'm running through some difficult situations, especially I have some financial difficulties and I want to talk to you about. Okay, inshallah, let me see when I get a time. It should be, I'm very sorry that I didn't know about it. I'm coming to you right now. Rather than that, let me try to keep on postponing this because I'm afraid he's going to ask me for something. And I don't want to give him. I don't have anything extra to share with people. Whereas, subhanAllah, the thing that Allah has given us, the ni'mahs that Allah has given us, everyone somehow can help others. It's only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving us that generous heart and kindness that we care about others and we love others. So, on the day of Qiyamah, neighbor will be complaining about some of the neighbors that, Ya Allah, he kept his doors closed on me. I couldn't go to him. I couldn't talk to him. Not because he was hurting me, not because he was not taking care of me as a neighbor. No, because at the time when he was in difficulty, he could not come to us. And he found our door was closed on him. فَمَعْنَا مَنَعَ مَعْرُوفَهُ. And I couldn't even get the common kindness that you would get from people. I couldn't get it from my neighbor. And that would be something that he has a right to complain about on the day of Qiyamah. This is what the hadith is telling us, that this will give your neighbor a right to complain against you on the day of Qiyamah. SubhanAllah, imagine the right of neighbors in Islam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq that we follow these beautiful teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, follow these beautiful instructions, and we put it into our practice, put it into our practical life, and will behave this way. So many more hadiths are coming further down. As I said earlier, if we just take care of these instructions and these teachings and bring these beautiful teachings in our life, this will be the highest form of da'wah. This will be the greatest form of da'wah. Just by practicing it without even having to tell people, read Qur'an and read this book and read that book, just people seeing this from us will be enough to show them what are the beautiful teachings of our deen and the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May Allah give us tawfiq to follow. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala khayri khalqih, Sayyidina wa Habibina wa Nabiyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير